Wow, it's hard to believe, but it's the last session of the day. C'est vraiment difficile à croire, mais nous voici à la dernière séance de la journée. Over the past 2 days, we've heard from industry leaders, thinkers, and experts on a variety of topics and issues. We've looked at our present, and we've gazed into what the future may hold for the travel and tourism industry. In this final session, we'll be exploring how national action plans affect you in your respective province or territory, and how your region is working with TIAC to rebuild Canada's visitor economy. Lors de cette dernière séance, nous étudierons comment les plans d'action nationaux vous concernent dans votre province ou territoire respectif et comment votre région collabore avec l'AITC pour rebâtir l'économie touristique et l'industrie du voyage du Canada. We hope you enjoy these regional sessions.
Good afternoon, Blaku. Thank you for joining me. My name is Kevin Kelly. I'm the CEO of Travel Nunavut, the Tourism Industry Association for Nunavut. We were formerly called Nunavut Tourism, however, we're known now as Travel Nunavut. I'd like to welcome you to the Provincial Territorial Industry Update. I'd like to send out a special thank you to TIAC for organizing this event. Excuse me. So moving on, we will start the presentation. So if you're wondering who the Provincial Territorial Industry Association actually is, we are a group of organizations like Travel Nunavut, the industry associations throughout the country. We work together on many different items, and especially during COVID, we met very frequently actually. Prior to COVID, we were once a month. Once COVID hit, we were actually meeting every 2 weeks, sometimes as much as every week, on various different topics, running from insurance issues to liquidity, to short-term rentals. Mainly during COVID, we were dealing with liquidity issues. Our information that we were getting from our members was feeding into a national campaign. So I can't tell you how much that means to a small territory, to a small organization like Travel Nunavut, to have TIAC there to help support us and advocate on behalf of the small territory and of our membership here in Nunavut. Another thing that the PTTIA has done is that we work together on surveys. Once again, being a small jurisdiction, sometimes our numbers can be much smaller. So when we feed into a much larger engine throughout the rest of the country, those numbers really help. So we work together through the PTTIA to develop surveys that would help drive policy changes within the Government of Canada, our members of Parliament, so on and so forth. So I can't say enough good things about what the PTTIA does, and then of course that information that gets fed into a national model. So you might be asking how you can participate. Ultimately, go to tourismcounts.ca. You can put your name down to support some of the initiatives that do happen through this organization and through the PTTIA. So please make sure that you go check out Tourism Counts. I can't say enough good things about it. So on to what Travel Nunavut does. Travel Nunavut, as some of you might be aware, we are the industry association. We're the membership-based association. So we advocate on behalf of our members. We advocate on behalf of our members on issues like air access and cost competitiveness. We work with our airline partners, Calm Air and Canadian North, to ensure that there are discount codes available for our operators to utilize to bring in guests. Obviously, that's not quite as big of an issue right now during COVID, but it is certainly still a major issue that that as COVID is running its course and we start opening back up our borders again, the cost of a flight is certainly going to be something that is high on the list of things that cause people to not want to book. So other issues that we're working on with regards to our advocacy items range from GN licensing processes right through working with HTOs and the GN to ensure that licensing is done in a fair and meaningful way, that we don't have favoritism towards one thing to another. So we really work hard with the government of Nunavut and certainly with most of the HTOs to ensure that things move forward. Going back to obviously to COVID, because it's front and center right now. Funding programs. We help our members with access to those funding programs. I can't tell you how many funding applications we've helped write for and help edit for our members to ensure that they gain access to these funding programs. Also, making sure that the government's programs, both the government of Nunavut and the government of Canada, programs work for a Nunavut-based audience. The other advocacy issues that we are working on with regards to COVID is a recovery and resiliency plan, both one for the organization and one for the government of Nunavut. Trying to stress upon the fact that we need to move beyond the crisis point that we've been in to figuring out a path forward for recovery. Insurance is going to be a huge issue that certainly a lot of my counterparts in the other jurisdictions have been raising issues on of insurance and the high cost that some operators are going to start seeing, that as their renewal period starts to loom closer and closer, you're going to start seeing insurance increases. So be prepared for that. Don't be surprised, but be prepared for that. We've been working with the government of Nunavut to ensure that they have funding programs in place that will help ease that burden on tourism operators with regards to the high costs of insurance. We advocate on behalf of all kinds of issues like infrastructure, working with the city of Nunavut to ensure that we have safe areas for people to walk when tourists are in town. Deep sea ports, small craft harbors, working to ensure that these things are front and center on government's minds when it comes to infrastructure issues. Going back on the air access and cost competitiveness, as we progress our way through COVID, we also want to be working with foreign airlines to bring in that capacity within the Nunavut, anyways, at least, to have one flight a week or 2 flights a week from a foreign airline. For us to be able to do that, we have to have programs and services in place that would be able to fill these people's time while they're in the territory. So we need to make sure that our operators are developing the programs, the itineraries that people are looking for when they want to come to the territory. Another big issue that we've been working on advocacy-wise is around training. We when the split happened between us and the government of Nunavut, some of the training component went over to the government of Nunavut. We've been advocating that training needs to continue to happen. And so we are going to develop a relationship with a Southern college or Southern colleges in order to make sure that tourism studies courses can happen here in the territory. Thankfully, the government of Nunavut has been on side with us doing that, and so look for that coming probably in the next several months or new fiscal year. But the skilled labor shortage and the skilled labor gap is a huge issue for the territory. And so the only way we can ensure that we help fill those voids is to have a series of training courses designed to fill that gap. I want to talk a little bit about the organization and where we've gone from and where we are now. I pride ourselves on the fact that we are actively going after and looking for Inuit-owned businesses. So our membership rates, our membership numbers have gradually increased over, from 2016 to this fiscal year. I'm proud to say that as of this fiscal year, 2020, we have 66 Inuit-owned businesses. We actually have more Inuit-owned businesses than Southern-owned businesses, which is, we're trending in the right direction. That model goes directly to our board of directors as well. We are more than 50%, more than 50% of our board are Inuit, and so that's great news. And we want to continue to see that those numbers move up. One of the major things that, of course, most people are going to be very interested in understanding and in seeing is our goals and objectives moving forward with regards to marketing and developing the industry moving forward. So, if anybody knows me very well, the building of a tourism industry here in the territory is also something something big that weighs heavily on me. That we need to make sure that our Inuit operators are thriving and are doing well. So we want to help out. We want to do our part to ensure that those Inuit operators are putting their best foot forward. So meaning we need to make sure they have quality products and services that are marketable. So we want to make sure that anything we are doing moving forward has that in mind. And so goals are that we will work directly with our operators, and in a more specific way, working with a lot of our Inuit operators to develop products and services around a staycation market. To offset losses in visitation, visitors, and visitor revenues. Honestly, we want to see more staycations. The only way Nunavut are actually going to visit and go out with our operators is for them to actually have, for those operators to actually have a marketable product. So I can't stress that enough, that we need to make sure that these marketable products are available on your websites, and people can book them. Are you going to get rich off of these? No, you're not. But we do want to make sure that these programs and services are there. We, going back into a little piece of COVID news, COVID updates, we've all heard about, we've all been talking about, the potential for a vaccine. We cannot rely that a vaccine is going to be in place to save the tourism season next summer. So we need to make sure that those products and services that are designed for a local market are out there and available, because more than likely you will need to, that's going to be your market for the spring and summer season next year. So make sure you have those out there and available. We also want to capitalize on new opportunities, you know, beyond the idea of the staycations. We also want to be sure that we're working with our member airlines to make sure that the products that they are putting out about the territory have complementary information. So meaning, you know, the idea of somebody going to fly or even work travel to a certain community, will they get information then about what's going on in that community? So we want to make sure that we take advantage of these opportunities that are available, you know, to us. We will continue to work with, excuse me, sorry. We will continue to work with our partners, Destination Canada and Destination Nunavut, as well, of course, as Indigenous Tourism Association of Canada, to make sure that we take advantage of any co-op marketing experiences moving forward. Marketing is, of course, a sensitive, sorry, a sensitive subject. However, we do need to make sure that we have an always-on marketing plan moving forward, and we do have that plan in place, and we are implementing that digital media strategy right now. We want, obviously, moving on, within that same idea here of partnering with other businesses, airlines, to support these packages. As I said before, we want to make sure sorry, that, you know, we are all working in a synergistic manner and with synergy. And so, however we can develop those programs and those itineraries, we want to make sure that we're all working together. So a little bit of, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but identifying those new business opportunities as a result of COVID. As I said before, you know, the whole staycation market has not been fully utilized. And so, you know, even before COVID, we were not taking advantage of the business travel market that is available in the territory. Now with COVID, we need to make sure that we do take advantage of the business travel market. We want to take the time now to develop our operators' websites. We have funding through the Government of Canada to develop 6 operator websites this year and another 6 more next year. And so with that, you know, we've started developing those 6 operator sites this year. We are on track. I'm very happy to say we're on track to have those 6 operator sites developed by December 31st, with a possibility of some additional some additional sites being ready by March 31st. So, you know, each one of these sites are going to have packages and promotions available on them. So, you know, however we can help move those businesses forward, that's what we're going to do, and that's what we've been doing to this point. Securing funding. As most people are aware, you know, we did lose some funding when the destination marketing function went away. But we are working very diligently, very hard to secure other funding for product development through grants and contributions from the Government of Canada, through CANOR. And so, you know, we want to reach out and develop these, you know, develop all of our member businesses throughout the territory. developing and executing our advertising plans. Once again, as I said before, we are working through an always on marketing plan. And I can't stress it enough that we want to make sure that our operator websites, our content that we have on our site, travelnunavut.ca, is updated by our members as needed. So please make sure that you log in through the portal, update your information, so that people are seeing the information that they need when deciding to book, hopefully after COVID has subsided. Apologize, sorry. We will continue to work with, once again, our partners of Destination Canada, Destination Nunavut, to increase that awareness, to make sure people are aware of the territory. That function resides mainly with Destination Nunavut. However, we do make sure that we are active participants in their marketing plans moving forward. So we want to make sure that as COVID starts to go away, that or the vaccine is available, that our markets are there, and people know that we're still around. Sorry about that. I do want to I want to kind of move a little bit away from the COVID recovery plan now, and say that I do want to throw out a special thank you to our board of directors. As I said before, we have been moving in the right direction with regards to having more Inuit-owned businesses on our board of directors, and of course that's showing through with the confidence that we've been getting from the government of Nunavut. Our board of directors is a volunteer board, and so I heavily rely on their expertise and help, and so they've been there every step of the way through COVID. Also, the government of Nunavut has also been there through COVID recovery, both with meeting on a very regular basis to ensure that the programs that they have in place meet the needs of our operators of the industry, and also to ensure that we're all advocating on behalf of the industry here in the territory. And so they've done a fantastic job to ensure that both the message that we've sent out through TIAC and the message that they're sending through their ministers and through their government processes, that these programs and services are working and are needed for a lot of our businesses. I will throw a plug in there about the need for additional support for the hotel industry in the territory. They are and have been some of the hardest hit operators whenever it comes to COVID. Yes, there are some medical travel, but we do need to have additional support. We are doing advocacy work whenever it comes to hotels. So if I can throw up, a last kind of plug out there, as kind of a final message out there, is that, look, we need these hotels in each one of the communities that are in the territory, and we need to make sure that those businesses are going to be there after COVID is, after the vaccine is available. And the only way that these guys are going to survive is to have some additional funding, some support structures put in place for these businesses, so that they can survive. Thank you very much. That is my presentation for today. I do want to say thank you very much to TIAC for putting on this great event. I want to throw out another comment just to say that we had our AGM and conference in October, late October. Please go to our website, travelnunavut.ca, to see the videos, or also on our Facebook page. Very proud that we had Terry O'Reilly do a keynote presentation on customer service. Please check that video out. We've had presentations from the Tourism Industry Association of Canada on culinary tourism and also increasing shoulder season. We don't really need to worry about the shoulder season at this particular point because there is still much development work that needs to be done. But ultimately, the idea, the plan was very valid, and please do check out those videos. As I said, they are on our Facebook page, travelnunavut.ca, and also on our website, on Facebook page for Travel Nunavut, and also our website, travelnunavut.ca. And much of this wouldn't have been possible without the support of TIAC, CANOR, and of course the Government of Nunavut, Department of Economic Development and Transportation. So with that, I would like to say thank you very much to these organizations and wrap up my presentation.
Thank you to all our provincial and territorial partners. Merci à tous nos partenaires provinciaux et territoriaux. Voilà ce qui nous amène à conclure le congrès touristique de l'AITC. It has been a packed 2 days. Don't worry if you've missed any sessions, as recorded sessions will be available to members on the TIAC website. You'll be able to access recorded sessions beginning on November 23rd. Please join us at 2:30 p.m. Eastern for an industry social and celebration with Air Canada, Destination Toronto, and WestJet, as we honor our Hall of Fame inductees, present our Lifetime Achievement Award, and put on a special salute to Canadian tourism. Joignez-vous à nous à 14h30 heure de l'Est pour une activité sociale et une cérémonie organisée par Air Canada, Destination Toronto et WestJet. Nous rendrons hommage aux personnes intronisées au Temple de la Renommée, remettrons notre prix d'excellence pour l'ensemble des réalisations et saluerons tout particulièrement le tourisme canadien. Merci encore d'avoir été les nôtres pour ce tout premier congrès touristique virtuel de l'AITC. Et n'oubliez pas le mot-clic, le tourisme compte. Thank you so much for joining us for this first ever virtual TIAC Tourism Congress. I'm Catherine Callery, and it's been my distinct pleasure and honor to be your MC on this very important Tourism Congress for 2020. It's been quite a year, but we're going to get through this together as an industry. This is a very resilient industry, and it shows the importance of all of us gathering here today and tuning in. We've had over 3,000 registrants tune in over the last 2 days. It just shows the importance of coming together. So keep at it. We're going to get through this. And remember, #tourism counts.